The morning sun warmed the dusty paths of the Green Valley Zoo. Eli trotted close behind his mother, his trunk twitching as he caught the scent of damp earth and dry grass. "Stay close," his mother rumbled, her heavy feet creating a rhythmic crunching sound against the ground. Eli nodded, but his focus was already drifting. A monkey performed a series of rapid flips on a branch just a few yards away, and Eli took a small, hesitant step toward the movement. He turned his head, distracted by the flash of vibrant feathers as a parrot swooped low over the path. He took another step, then another, his eyes tracking the bird until it vanished into the canopy. When he finally turned back to find his mother, the path was empty. The familiar gray bulk of her body was gone, blocked by a dense row of acacia trees. Eli spun in a tight circle, his breath hitching in his throat. He scanned the horizon, but there was only the rustle of leaves and the distant hum of the zoo. The silence of the path hit him with sudden, sharp weight. He was alone. He opened his mouth and let out a high-pitched, desperate trumpet that echoed through the trees. The sound of the trumpet barely faded before a shadow detached itself from the canopy. Max the monkey dropped down, landing with a soft thud directly in front of the trembling elephant. He tilted his head, his eyes darting toward the empty path. "What is it?" Max asked, his voice sharp and clear. Eli wiped his eyes with the tip of his trunk, his breathing ragged. "I lost my mom," he managed to whisper. Max did not hesitate. He let out a piercing, rhythmic whistle that cut through the afternoon air. Within seconds, the brush began to stir. A zebra trotted from the shade, followed by a giraffe and a penguin waddling quickly over the dry dirt. Finally, a young lion emerged, his mane bristling with intent. He stepped forward, nudging Eli gently with his shoulder. "Team Zoo is on the case," the lion announced, his posture rigid and focused. They turned as one unit, ready to comb every corner. The search party moved in a synchronized line, their pace steady but hurried. They reached the giraffe pens first, where the long-necked giants craned their heads over the fences, shaking them in silent confusion. No sign of the mother. They pushed onward to the monkey playground. The swings hung motionless, swaying empty in the light breeze, and the climbing ropes were still. The silence here felt heavy, pressing down on the group. They even braved the lion den, but the rocky enclosure remained completely vacant. Eli dragged his feet, his trunk trailing in the dust. His ears, usually alert, now drooped low against his head. Every step became a struggle against the rising tide of exhaustion. The giraffe noticed his flagging pace and nudged him gently with her nose, guiding him forward. "Keep moving," she encouraged, her voice low and steady. Eli tried to lift his head, but his legs felt like lead. Just as the last spark of hope seemed to flicker out, a sharp cry pierced the air. The parrot spiraled down from the clouds. "By the lake!" The bird squawked. The news hit the group like a spark in dry grass. Without a single word, the lion surged forward, his paws churning the earth. The zebra followed, hooves drumming a frantic rhythm against the hard-packed path. Eli found a sudden burst of energy, his small legs pumping as he pushed past the giraffe to lead the charge. They sprinted toward the lake, the wind whistling past their ears, the blur of trees and fences whipping by in a streak of green and brown. They rounded the final bend, and there she was. Mama Elephant stood at the very edge of the water, her trunk extended, rhythmically scanning the distant horizon. She turned at the sound of their approach, her eyes locking onto the small, dust-covered figure sprinting toward her. She let out a deep, resonant call. Eli did not slow down. He sprinted the final distance, his trunk reaching out, and collided with her side. He buried his head against her. She wrapped her trunk around his neck, pulling him tight against her, holding him with a grip that promised he would never be lost again. The search was over. The tension of the day dissolved as the group settled on the grassy bank. They gathered in a circle, sharing a pile of fresh fruit brought by the others. The lion and the zebra chased each other near the water, their movements light and playful. Eli stood close to his mother, his trunk resting against her leg. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and violet, the animals came together for a final moment. They stood side by side, heads held high, as the light faded. Eli looked at his friends, then back at his mother. He had learned that the world was vast and full of paths, but it was much safer when you held on to those you loved. The day ended with the group standing together, a single unit, as the shadows lengthened across the valley floor.